Hey, Heart Seekers, welcome to the Heart's Hello Show, a space where truth meets tenderness and your journey back to yourself begins. I am your host, Keona Talana, and around here, we don't do surface. We get real, we go deep, and we speak to the parts of you that you thought no one saw. Whether you're in a season of rediscovery, rebuilding, or just trying to breathe again, you're safe here. Let's unpack, unlearn, and unlock who you were always meant to be. Hey, so just thank you all for joining in to listen to this show each and every week. I truly appreciate it, and I do not take it lightly that you take time out of your day to listen to me sometimes preach, sometimes get silly, sometimes tell on myself. But it lets me know that you are getting something out of these episodes, and I truly appreciate you. And so this week, we're going to talk about something that so many of us ignore until it screams. It's going to be the whisper of your life. So this episode is going to be for you if you've been getting quiet nudges. If there's these little tugs in your spirit, but you keep brushing them off because life is loud and the expectations are heavy and clarity feels far away, I'm here to let you know that your life has been talking. You just stopped listening when it wasn't loud. So today, I want to help you tune back in. It's interesting because over these past weeks, I've had these weeds that I've seen growing in my yard, all in the flower bed. And the young guy who comes to cut the grass is supposed to pull the weeds. Well, his schedule hasn't permitted him to be able to pull the weeds because it takes just a little more time than him kind of riding on the lawnmower. And so he's come a couple of times, cut the grass, and the weeds are just overtaking, right? And so I'll look out of my window and I'll see the weeds. And sometimes, once I leave the house, depending on which direction I may go, I will see that the weeds and the flowers and the bushes are all the same height, right? So on Mother's Day, I decided that he wasn't going to come Saturday. Something came up and I said, you know what? Let me go outside. So Sunday rolls around. Mother's Day is here. And I'm trying to talk myself into going outside to pull these weeds. Now, for those of you all who don't know, I like being outside, but I don't like bugs. So for me to go outside and have to pull weeds is now going to require me to have to put on a full hazmat suit. That's right. I have on my sweatpants. I have on my socks that are pulled over the bottom of the sweatpants. I have on my rain boots. I have on a long sleeve shirt. And then I have a sweater on over top of that, in addition to my gloves. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgot that I tied my hair up, then put a hat on over top of the scarf that I had on, and sunglasses. Y'all, I'm outside looking absolutely crazy. My neighbors are walking down the street. Now, we're in the latter part of spring, getting ready to go into summer. So it's a nice day. They have on shorts. They have on flip-flops as they're walking down the street. Here I am in this full get up because I don't like bugs. But I'm obedient to the nudge that is saying, you know what? Get outside and assess what's going on in your yard. So I go out, I'm looking at the weeds, and from inside the house, it doesn't look that bad until I get into the flower bed and I'm like, wow, there are weeds everywhere. My rose bush, there are weeds down underneath the rose bush. It's all of the flowers that are outside are being choked by the weeds. And in that moment, as I'm pulling weeds, God is like, this is what happens when you're still a beautiful flower and weeds can also be growing at the same time. So you're growing, but are you growing to the extent that you need? And what would happen if these weeds are removed? Will you grow faster? And I'm pulling the weeds and I'm getting emotional at the same time because I'm like, God, you will still allow this beautiful rose bush to grow, even though there are weeds all around it, weeds that are being choked out at the root of it, weeds just everywhere. And so I say all of that to say that what if I just waited for the young guy to come and do the yard work? I would not have had the opportunity to realize that, yes, there is beauty that transpires all around us. And some of us show up as these beautiful flowers. And yet there are still things that are choking us at the root. And we have to be able to get to those root issues, because when we're talking about ignoring the nudges, ignoring those things that our body is telling us is not right, we don't hear the loud. And so that causes us to miss the whisper. So let me ask you this question. Have you ever had moments where you felt like something is off, but you couldn't explain it? Or when you kept getting the nudges to slow down, to change directions, to say no, or to let something go? Those are the whispers. See, it's subtle, it's sacred, it's strategic. It's going to sound like you don't belong here anymore. This doesn't feel like peace. You're not being honest with yourself. It's time to let go. And here's the truth. The whisper often shows up before the burnout, before the breakdown, before the betrayal, before the breakdown that becomes your breakthrough. But we don't hear it because we've normalized the chaos and called it strength. So I need to ask you, why do we, and I say we because I am not oblivious to the fact that I have ignored the whispers too. It's just like when I've had conversations with my best friend and she'll say, girl, we may have ignored those red flags. Yes, we did. Same thing applies. Why do we ignore the whispers? And so let's just be real about it. We ignore the whispers because we don't want to disappoint people. We don't trust our gut over what's practical. We're waiting for a bigger sign. And we're afraid of what listening might cost us. But what if not listening is costing you more? It's costing you your peace. It's costing you your purpose. It's costing you alignment. So you don't need more signs. You don't need more stillness. You need more courage to obey what you already know. I'm going to let that breathe for a second, because some of you all know for sure what you need to be doing. And you know exactly when you were given the instructions. But it's okay, because I'm going to give you 4 ways for you to start listening again. And this is how we will begin listening when life is whispering. So the first thing you're going to do is create space. See, life can't whisper through noise. That means putting the phone down, turning the music off, putting things on silence. Your clarity is not hiding. It's just being buried under your busyness. Number 2, write it out. Start asking yourself the hard questions in your journal. What have I been pretending not to know? Where do I feel off? What am I craving that I keep ignoring? Number 3, pay attention to the patterns. Y'all, can I say that if you really take a look over your life, if you begin to do just a little bit of self-assessment, you will begin to see the patterns and the habits that show up time and time again. But the key to that is when you recognize the pattern, figure out how you responded to it the last time you did it. See, when I've said before that you will keep taking the same test over and over again until you pass, the same thing applies to the patterns and the habits in our lives. It's no lie when they say that you will keep dating the same person over and over again. Why? Because you have not changed. What you said that you want is not in alignment with how you begin to show up. So I need you to pay attention to the patterns. Because if it keeps coming up, it is not a coincidence. It's a call. It's a call for you to put it down. It's a call for you to pay attention to your purpose. It's a call for you to realize that this is the direction that you need to be going, but you keep going in the opposite direction. Why? And I'm talking to myself too, because I can recognize the patterns in my life. But do I always go in the direction that I need to go? No. Why? Because going in the opposite direction is easier. See, we have taught ourselves to do what's easy. And doing what's easy is going to keep us comfortable. Doing what's easy is going to keep us from growing. Doing what's easy is going to keep us from going in the right direction, which is where we need to be going in order to show up and be the authentic version of ourselves. Each and every day, we need to assess how we show up in spaces, how we present ourselves. But then also, am I just doing this out of a habit? Is this a pattern? Is this what I typically do? And what is the outcome of this? Have I seen this before? If I go down this path, how will it end? See, some of you all are asking for direction and clarity from God when He has already given you the instructions. But you choose not to go in the way that He has instructed you. So you'll keep praying, God, I need you to go before me and make my crooked path straight. Give me a plan. I don't know what I should be doing. And for some of us, that is indeed true. And for others, it's going back to the last set of instructions that He gave you. What are you ignoring that you choose to go in the opposite direction of? Number 4, stop asking for confirmation from people who aren't living your calling. I'll say that again. Stop asking for confirmation from people who aren't living your calling. Sometimes it's just you and God, and you're going to have to trust the whisper. See, it was no coincidence that the young guy, each and every week, when he would show up to cut the grass, that he couldn't pull the weeds. Because God needed to show me something. I needed to put my eyes on it. I needed to pull the weeds out of the ground. I needed to see how this is affecting my life, how it may be affecting your life, because we will still show up and do the best that we can. But what if we removed all of the weeds? What if we got to the root cause of why we feel stunted? So you're going to have to trust the whisper. I know it's hard. It's not easy all the time. And in trusting the whisper, sometimes it's just you and God. So that means you trying to share this with someone else, they will not understand. You're trying to get buy-in from other people on the calling and assignment that God has placed on your life. They can't instruct you on that because they did not create you. They didn't give you the purpose. See, when you're on a purpose, when you're in purpose, on purpose, you're on assignment. So trust the whisper. Trust the whisper. And so just a word for the one who's scared to listen. Maybe you're scared that listening will wreck the plans that you've already built. But what if those plans were never yours to carry long term? What if what you're scared to lose was only meant to teach you, not to keep you? Listening is not a weakness. Listening is wisdom. So when your life whispers, it's giving you a chance to course correct before the consequences. You don't have to fall apart to get clarity. You just have to be willing to pause. So y'all, I'm hoping that you heard my heart in this message. I'm hoping that you got what you needed this week. Because I want you to sit in a quiet space, even if it's just 10 minutes, and ask your life, what are you trying to tell me right now? And then actually listen. See, you'll hear it, not through the noise, not through fear, but through truth. Thank you for being here today. I just thank you. And if this episode spoke to something in your spirit, share it with someone who's been ignoring their whisper. And until next time, remember, your heart already knows. Your job is to get quiet enough to hear it. I love you. I see you. And I'll talk to you soon. If this episode spoke to your heart, I hope you'll sit with it, share it, and let it shift something in you. You don't have to have it all together. You just have to be willing to be real. Keep showing up for yourself. Keep saying hello to your heart. And until next time, I'm Keona Talana, and this is the Heart's Hello Show, where growth sounds like grace and healing feels like home.